Mastering conflict, the Stoic path to emotional resilience. Have you ever found yourself caught in a heated argument, feeling the blood rush to your face and your heart racing? We've all been there. Whether it's a disagreement with a colleague at work, a tense moment with a loved one, or a frustrating online exchange. In these moments, it's easy to feel like you're about to explode, to lash out, or even to resort to words that you'll regret later. But imagine a different scenario. What if you could navigate these conflicts without resorting to anger, insults, or even a raised voice? What if you could face your adversary with grace, understanding, and emotional control, using your mind and reasoning rather than letting your emotions dictate your response? This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. Rooted in the teachings of philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, Stoicism offers profound strategies for mastering oneself in the face of conflict. It's not about avoiding conflict altogether, but about confronting it with a steady mind and an open heart. Stoics believed that external events, whether it's an argument, a disagreement, or any form of adversity, are outside our control, but our responses to those events are within our power. In this exploration of Stoic principles, we'll look at how these ancient teachings can help us navigate modern conflicts with emotional resilience and wisdom. From understanding the depths of your opponent's mindset to learning the art of compromise, Stoicism offers a toolkit for transforming conflict into an opportunity for growth and understanding. Understanding the Stoic approach, the power of emotional control. The first key principle of Stoicism is the idea that we cannot control external events or other people, but we can control our reactions to them. This idea is central to the teachings of Epictetus, who famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In practice, this means that our emotional responses, whether to an argument, a criticism, or even an insult, are within our control. We have the power to choose how we react. This is a game changer when it comes to conflict. When someone insults us or disagrees with us, our automatic response might be to feel hurt, angry, or defensive. But through Stoic practice, we learn to step back, to pause, and to consider our response carefully. Instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose a response that aligns with our values and principles, one that reflects self-discipline and respect for others, even in the heat of the moment. This process of emotional control begins with awareness. We must first recognize the emotions that arise in conflict: anger, frustration, resentment, and acknowledge them without judgment. Instead of suppressing these emotions, Stoicism teaches us to observe them, to understand their root causes, and to detach from them. By doing so, we gain the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The Stoic technique of delving into the depths of your adversary. One of the core techniques recommended by Stoicism is to delve into the depths of your adversary, an idea that Marcus Aurelius emphasized in his Meditations. In practical terms, this means that when you find yourself in conflict with someone, instead of simply reacting to their words or actions, take a step back and seek to understand their perspective. What is driving their behavior? What are the deeper motivations behind their words and actions? Stoics suggest that conflicts often arise not from the surface-level issues we argue about, but from deeper, more personal concerns, unmet needs, fears, insecurities, or past traumas. By understanding these underlying issues, we can approach conflict not as a battle to be won, but as an opportunity for connection and resolution. For example, imagine you're in a disagreement with a colleague at work. Instead of focusing on the words they're saying or their tone, which might trigger a defensive response from you, you can pause and ask yourself, what is really going on here? What might be driving their behavior? Perhaps they are feeling overlooked in their role, or maybe they're under pressure to meet deadlines. By shifting your focus from the content of the argument to the deeper issues at play, you can approach the situation with empathy and a greater understanding of their perspective. This technique requires patience, active listening, and a willingness to look beyond the surface. It's not about agreeing with the other person or excusing bad behavior, but about striving to understand the motivations and circumstances that led to the conflict. By doing so, you create space for a more constructive conversation, one that is less about defending yourself and more about finding common ground. Picking your battles. Not every argument is worth fighting. Another vital Stoic lesson is the idea of picking your battles. In life, we are constantly presented with situations that could lead to conflict. Whether it's a minor disagreement with a neighbor, a misunderstanding with a friend, or a heated debate online, the Stoic wisdom here is clear. Not every conflict is worth engaging in. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Often, we can be so caught up in the desire to prove ourselves right or to win an argument that we overlook the emotional and mental toll it takes on us. Stoicism teaches that we should evaluate the importance of each conflict and ask ourselves, is this battle worth my time, energy, and emotional investment? Consider the following scenario. You're in a discussion with someone who holds a completely different political view than you. The conversation quickly becomes heated, and you can feel the tension rising. In that moment, you could choose to keep arguing to try to win the debate and prove your point. But Stoic wisdom would encourage you to pause and ask, is this disagreement truly significant in the grand scheme of things? Will this argument lead to mutual understanding? Or will it just leave both of us frustrated? By carefully considering the value of the conflict, Stoicism invites us to focus our energy on what truly matters. In many cases, letting go of the need to win can be the most powerful choice. It doesn't mean we surrender our beliefs or avoid difficult conversations, but rather, we become more discerning in how we engage with others. Embracing the Stoic path, moving beyond conflict. The power of Stoicism lies not in avoiding conflict, but in transforming the way we approach it. When we stop seeing conflict as an adversary to be defeated and instead view it as an opportunity for growth, understanding, and emotional development, we begin to see conflict in a new light. Stoics encourage us to embrace challenges, not as threats to our peace of mind, but as opportunities to practice resilience, patience, and wisdom. They teach us that the true measure of strength is not in how we overcome external challenges, but in how we maintain our inner peace, regardless of what is happening around us. By incorporating Stoic techniques such as delving into the depths of your adversary, picking your battles wisely, and approaching conflicts with empathy and understanding, we can not only resolve disagreements more effectively, but also cultivate a deeper sense of emotional resilience. This allows us to face life's challenges with a sense of calm and clarity, knowing that while we cannot control what happens to us, we always have the power to control how we respond. As we move forward in this journey, remember, the ultimate victory in any conflict is not in defeating your opponent, but in mastering yourself. Stoicism in practice, navigating life's conflicts and emotional mastery. Stoicism and mastering the mind. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the belief that true freedom comes from mastering one's own mind. When dealing with conflicts, whether internal or external, the Stoic focuses not on controlling events or other people, but on mastering their emotional responses. This inward focus on self-control is what differentiates Stoicism from other philosophies or belief systems that may prioritize changing the world around us. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most influential philosophers, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote captures the essence of Stoic thought. We are not helpless in the face of life's difficulties. The Stoic asserts that we have the power to control our responses to any external event, no matter how chaotic or unjust it may seem. This lesson is crucial when facing conflicts in life, as it teaches us not to be controlled by circumstances, but rather to be the master of our emotional landscape. For example, imagine you're at work and your manager unexpectedly criticizes your performance in front of the team. Instead of immediately becoming defensive or frustrated, a Stoic would take a moment to pause and assess the situation. Rather than seeing the criticism as a personal attack, the Stoic would view it as an opportunity for growth. Is the criticism valid? If yes, how can you improve? If not, then why let it disturb your peace of mind? By controlling your emotional reaction, you take the power back from the situation and turn it into a chance for personal development. Choosing your battles, avoiding empty conflicts. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, conflicts seem to emerge at every turn, often with little regard for the actual importance of the issue at hand. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the importance of discerning which battles are worth engaging in and which ones are better left alone. In a sense, Stoics encourage us to be selective about where we direct our energy, ensuring that we reserve our emotional resources for matters that truly matter. Seneca, another prominent Stoic, once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This speaks to the tendency we have as humans to magnify trivial matters into crises simply because of the way we react to them. Not every argument or disagreement requires your participation. Just because someone says something offensive or incorrect doesn't mean you need to defend your point of view. Often, the most powerful response is silence or simply walking away. Consider a scenario where you are embroiled in a heated debate with a colleague about a trivial office matter, like how a task should be completed. It may seem important in the moment, but in reality, this minor disagreement will have little long-term impact. A Stoic approach would be to recognize that the issue at hand is not worth upsetting your emotional equilibrium. By choosing to disengage, you preserve your energy for matters that truly align with your values and long-term goals. This ability to step back and evaluate the importance of a conflict is what allows a Stoic to remain calm amidst chaos. Applying Stoicism in the workplace, handling challenges with poise. In the workplace, particularly in leadership roles, conflicts can arise frequently. These might be in the form of project delays, interpersonal struggles among team members, or even personal frustrations regarding one's own professional growth. The Stoic mindset provides a solid framework for approaching these challenges with resilience and clarity. Imagine you're a senior manager who is facing an escalating situation within your team. Perhaps one of your direct reports is underperforming, and their lack of progress is beginning to affect the whole team's productivity. Additionally, you're feeling the pressure from your superiors to deliver results. You may find yourself frustrated and anxious. However, a Stoic leader would pause and reflect on the situation. They would ask themselves, what can I control in this situation? Can I change the employee's behavior directly, or must I first address the way I'm reacting to their actions? A Stoic approach in this situation would involve recognizing the internal feelings of frustration but choosing not to let them dictate your actions. Instead of lashing out or micromanaging, you might approach the situation calmly, providing constructive feedback and guidance, all the while ensuring that your emotional state remains unaffected by the external pressures. By keeping a clear mind, you are more likely to find a solution that benefits everyone involved, rather than allowing the situation to spiral out of control. Stoicism in social media, the challenge of online conflicts. In today's digital age, the lines between personal and public life have become increasingly blurred. Social media platforms, while offering opportunities for connection, are also breeding grounds for conflict and misunderstandings. It's easy to get caught up in online arguments, where the anonymity of the internet often allows people to say things they wouldn't in face-to-face interactions. Here's an example. Imagine you post something on social media that garners attention, but not all of it is positive. Someone may comment in an offensive or dismissive way, and before you know it, you're drawn into a back-and-forth argument. While it may be tempting to respond in kind, the Stoic approach would be to recognize that the other person's words do not define you. The Stoic would step back, take a deep breath, and assess whether engaging in this argument will serve any productive purpose. Instead of reacting impulsively, a Stoic might choose to simply disengage. This is not about avoiding conflict, but about avoiding unnecessary emotional turmoil. Stoics believe that maintaining internal peace is paramount. So, if responding to an online critic only serves to disrupt your inner calm, the Stoic would advise refraining from participating in the exchange. By doing so, you free yourself from the negative energy that these online interactions often create. Moreover, the Stoic wisdom of distancing yourself from online drama can lead to greater emotional freedom. Rather than letting virtual disagreements dictate your mood or self-worth, you retain control over your own feelings. In this way, Stoicism teaches us that peace of mind is worth far more than winning an online argument. Practical application, transforming conflict into opportunity. While it's important to understand Stoic philosophy on a conceptual level, the real challenge lies in applying these principles to everyday life. Let's explore how we can use Stoic teachings to transform conflict into an opportunity for growth. 1. Practice delayed reactions. One of the core Stoic practices is the concept of delayed reaction. In the heat of the moment, when faced with conflict, take a step back. Breathe. Reflect on how you can respond calmly and thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This practice can be especially helpful in high-pressure work situations or when dealing with people who provoke you. 2. View every conflict as a lesson. Stoics believe that every difficulty or conflict presents an opportunity for self-improvement. If you're facing a disagreement, ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Perhaps it's a lesson in patience, self-restraint, or empathy. By shifting your mindset to see conflicts as lessons, you not only navigate them more effectively but also grow as a person. 3. Cultivate emotional resilience. Stoics emphasize the importance of building emotional resilience. This means developing the ability to stay calm and composed even when things are falling apart. If someone criticizes you unjustly or if a project goes wrong, practice emotional detachment. Acknowledge the emotions that arise but don't let them control your actions. This emotional resilience is key to navigating life's inevitable conflicts without losing your peace of mind. 4. Focus on what you can control. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is recognizing the difference between what you can and cannot control. In any conflict, focus your energy on what is within your power to change. Can you change the behavior of the other person? Probably not. But you can control how you respond, how you maintain your composure, and how you learn from the experience. Stoic wisdom in times of personal crisis and long-term change. Facing personal tragedies with stoic resilience. Life inevitably brings moments of profound suffering and loss. Whether it's the death of a loved one, the loss of a job, or a personal failure, these moments can shake us to our core. Stoicism teaches us that although we cannot avoid pain or tragedy, we can choose how to respond to it. The ability to endure hardship with grace and resilience is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, faced many personal tragedies during his life, including the deaths of multiple children and ongoing political strife. Yet, despite these overwhelming challenges, he remained composed and focused on his duties. In his Meditations, Marcus writes, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful idea encapsulates the Stoic approach to personal crisis. Instead of resisting the pain and suffering that come with loss, Stoics seek to accept them as part of life's natural course. By embracing adversity, they believe we can find the strength to grow and evolve. Rather than being defined by tragedy, a Stoic sees it as an opportunity to practice resilience, understanding, and detachment. Take, for example, the story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist who developed the therapeutic approach known as logotherapy. While imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps, Frankl found that those who survived and maintained a sense of meaning were more likely to endure the unimaginable suffering they faced. Frankl's experience aligns closely with Stoic thought. The external conditions of life may be cruel and uncontrollable, but our internal responses are within our power. By choosing to find meaning, even in the darkest times, Frankl exemplified the Stoic ideal of emotional resilience. Dealing with failure, a Stoic path to growth. Failure is another inevitable aspect of life, but it is also one of the most fertile grounds for growth and transformation. Stoics encourage us not to fear failure but to embrace it as a teacher. Failure, when viewed through a Stoic lens, is not a negative experience but a chance to learn, improve, and build character. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, was known for his writings on adversity and failure. In his letters to Lucilius, he often emphasized the importance of setbacks in building resilience. In one letter, he writes, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This sentiment underscores a key Stoic belief. Failure is not something to avoid, but something to be welcomed. The more we struggle, the more we grow, as long as we choose to learn from our mistakes. For example, consider an entrepreneur who experiences the failure of their startup. They have invested months or even years into building their business, and the collapse is devastating. The Stoic response would be to step back from the situation and reflect on what went wrong. What lessons can be learned from the failure? How can the experience be used to improve future endeavors? This mindset shift turns failure from a source of shame into a powerful tool for growth. By adopting a Stoic perspective, we learn that failure is not the end, but rather a part of the process. The key is not to let failure define us, but to learn from it and continue striving for improvement. How Stoicism enhances long-term decision-making. One of the lesser discussed but highly valuable applications of Stoicism is its influence on long-term decision-making. Many people struggle with making important life decisions because they are clouded by short-term emotions, fears, or desires. Stoicism teaches us to rise above these fleeting impulses and consider our actions in light of our long-term values and goals. A central tenet of Stoic thought is living in accordance with nature, which means aligning our actions with our true values and the greater good. In a world filled with distractions and immediate gratifications, this can be challenging. However, Stoics encourage us to make decisions based on rational reflection rather than reactive emotions. For instance, imagine you are offered a lucrative job that will provide significant financial rewards, but it conflicts with your values. A Stoic would recommend pausing and reflecting deeply on whether this decision aligns with your long-term goals and the life you wish to live. This approach is not just about achieving success, but about ensuring that your success is consistent with your values and principles. An example of this could be seen in the story of the late Apple CEO, Steve Jobs. Jobs was known for his focus on long-term vision, often refusing offers or making decisions that might have seemed financially beneficial in the short term, but didn't align with his values for innovation and quality. His decision to not settle for less than his vision ultimately led to the creation of groundbreaking products that reshaped the tech industry. The Stoic approach to decision-making encourages individuals to resist the urge for immediate gratification and instead focus on what truly serves their long-term happiness and fulfillment. By applying Stoic principles, we can make more rational, thoughtful decisions that bring lasting satisfaction and avoid the traps of short-term thinking. Building resilience through daily Stoic practice. While Stoicism offers profound insights into how to handle crisis, failure, and long-term decision-making, its greatest value lies in its daily practice. Stoicism is not merely a theoretical framework for dealing with life's challenges, but a way of life that requires constant self-reflection, discipline, and self-improvement. One of the most practical applications of Stoicism is the practice of journaling. The Stoics often kept personal journals, where they would reflect on their thoughts, actions, and the ways in which they responded to challenges. This practice allows individuals to continuously refine their understanding of Stoic principles and integrate them into their daily lives. For example, each morning, a Stoic might reflect on what challenges the day may bring and mentally prepare for those challenges by reminding themselves of the core Stoic principles. What is within my control? How can I respond virtuously to whatever happens today? By setting these intentions in advance, they are less likely to be swayed by emotional impulses or external circumstances. In addition to journaling, another common Stoic practice is the technique of negative visualization. This involves imagining the worst-case scenario, such as losing your job or a loved one, in order to prepare yourself emotionally for such events. This may seem counterintuitive, but it helps Stoics maintain perspective. By mentally preparing for adversity, they reduce their fear and anxiety when it inevitably occurs, knowing they have already considered it and are prepared to face it with strength. By integrating these daily practices, the Stoic gradually builds mental resilience, emotional control, and the wisdom to navigate life's inevitable challenges with grace and poise. This ongoing commitment to self-improvement and self-mastery is what enables Stoics to maintain inner peace despite the external chaos of life. Conclusion: the power of Stoic philosophy for modern life. In conclusion, Stoicism offers invaluable insights into how we can navigate the complexities of modern life with wisdom, resilience, and emotional balance. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, we are empowered to live a life that is not dictated by external circumstances, but shaped by our internal response to them. Whether we are facing conflict in the workplace, experiencing personal tragedy, or making long-term decisions, Stoicism provides a powerful framework for responding to life's challenges with clarity and poise. Through practices such as journaling, negative visualization, and daily reflection, we can cultivate the mindset necessary to face adversity with courage and grace. The Stoic path is not one of avoiding pain or difficulty, but of embracing them as opportunities for growth. It is a philosophy that teaches us to live in accordance with our values, to make decisions that reflect our deepest principles, and to face each day with the resolve to act virtuously, regardless of the circumstances. As we continue to navigate the turbulent waters of modern life, Stoicism offers us a timeless guide to maintaining inner peace, emotional mastery, and long-term fulfillment. By adopting its principles, we can face any conflict with confidence and transform even the greatest challenges into opportunities for growth. If you found this video insightful and thought-provoking, don't forget to hit that like button. Your support helps us create more content that dives deep into the wisdom of Stoicism and how it can enrich you.